Chairperson of Academic Senate, Vice Rectors, to eminent Head of Research and Development Agency of Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, Excellencies Ambassadors, An Kwang-il, Ambassador of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea to Indonesia and ASEAN, Valiullah, Iranian Ambassador for Indonesia, to eminent Director General of Science, Technology Resources and Higher Education at Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education, to eminent Senior Advisor to Minister of Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education, to eminent Head of International Office as well as the Chairperson of the Steering Committee Scholar Summit 2017, all deans, all directors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Izzaza Stefania and I am your MC for today. First and foremost, I'd like to say that it's such an honor, extremely an honor, very delightful to be amongst company of all of you here, and welcome to the first Scholar Summit 2017, Universitas Indonesia, Shaping the Better World. Ladies and gentlemen, Scholar Summit, Shaping the Better World, is light upon the spirit of academic collaboration and common interests between scholars and universities to improve multi-faceted aspects of life, from small communities to the global society. In the effort of tackling the dynamics of global challenges nowadays, Sustainable Development Goals was launched. The Scholar Summit is therefore intended to respond by encouraging partnerships among scholars and bringing up their ideas to address the issues and challenges in sustainable development. Very well, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the opening ceremony today, please note the following safety induction from this video.
Selamat datang di Universitas Indonesia.
Welcome to Universitas Indonesia.
Sesuai dengan persyaratan K3L yang berlaku di Universitas Indonesia, kami dari UPT Keselamatan, Kesehatan Kerja, dan Lingkungan akan menyampaikan induksi keselamatan.
Based on safety regulation in Universitas Indonesia, we are from Occupational Safety, Health and Environmental Unit would like to deliver safety, health and environmental induction.
Saat ini kita berada di Gedung Art and Culture Universitas Indonesia.
Now we are in Art and Culture Building Universitas Indonesia.
Terdapat dua pintu utama di Gedung Art and Culture Universitas Indonesia.
There are two main entrances in Art and Culture Building Universitas Indonesia.
Terdapat dua potensi keadaan darurat yang mungkin dapat terjadi, kebakaran dan gempa bumi.
There are two emergency conditions which may occur: fire, earthquake.
Jika terjadi kebakaran, harap tenang dan jangan panik. Karena gedung ini dilengkapi dengan alat detektor asap, sprinkler, hidran, dan alat pemadam api ringan atau APAR. Segera informasikan lokasi sumber api kepada petugas kami.
In case of fire, please be calm and do not panic because this building is equipped with sprinkler, hydrant, fire extinguishers, and smoke detector. Immediately inform our officer for fire location.
Jika terlatih untuk memadamkan api, lakukan pemadaman dengan menggunakan APAR.
And if you are trained to extinguish fire, please do so.
Segera lakukan evakuasi, ikuti lampu darurat yang tersedia pada tangga, dan pergilah menuju ke titik berkumpul.
Evacuate immediately, follow the emergency lights which provided on the stairs, and go to the assembly point.
Jika terjadi gempa bumi, lakukan metode drop, cover, and hold on. Jatuhkan badan Anda, lindungi kepala dengan tangan, dan berlindunglah di bawah kursi atau meja. Hindari area kaca dan benda menggantung.
In case of earthquake, Do drop, cover, and hold on method. Protect your head by your hand. Cover your head below the table or chair and hold on until condition is safe. Avoid window glasses and hanging objects.
Jika guncangan reda, segera lakukan evakuasi melalui pintu darurat. Petugas akan memandu ke titik berkumpul yang berada di depan dan belakang gedung ini.
When the earthquake has ceased, evacuate through emergency door and follow our officer to the assembly point, which is located in front of this building and behind this building.
Hendaknya selalu berhati-hati saat melangkah dan selalu gunakan pegangan tangga saat menaiki atau menuruni tangga.
Please be careful when you step on the stairs and always use handrails.
Berdasarkan keputusan Rektor nomor 1805 /SK /R/UI /2011 Universitas Indonesia merupakan kawasan tanpa asap rokok.
Based on Rector Decree, Universitas Indonesia is a smoke-free area.
Jagalah kebersihan dan buang sampah di tempat yang telah disediakan.
Please protect clean university's environment and place the rubbish in the rubbish bin.
Terima kasih atas perhatian Anda dan selamat beraktivitas.
Thank you for your attention and have a good day.
Singing the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, led by conductor Aji Kashono. Audience, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, before we commence our ceremony today, we would like to invite each and every one of you to take a moment for prayer. This prayer will be led by Mr. Ahmad Yasin SAG.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Untuk kelancaran acara kita ini, mari kita sama-sama berdoa kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala, Tuhan yang Maha Kuasa, sesuai dengan keyakinan kita masing-masing. Amin. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan na'imin, hamdan yuwafi ni'mahu wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana wa ilahana lakal hamdu wa lakal syukru kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karim 'azim sultanik. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an mubarakan marhuma وتفرقنا بعد هذا تفرقا حسنا معصوما. Ya Allah, Tuhan yang Maha Kuasa, berikanlah kelancaran dan kesuksesan pada acara yang kami laksanakan ini, sehingga membawa kemaslahatan bagi Universitas Indonesia, bagi bangsa Indonesia, dan juga bagi siapapun yang turut andil dalam kegiatan ini, ya Allah. Ya Allah, Tuhan yang Maha Pengasih, jadikanlah kegiatan yang kami laksanakan ini menjadi wadah untuk berbagi pengalaman dan berbagi ilmu pengetahuan, sehingga membawa kebaikan bagi seluruh manusia di permukaan bumi ini. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salamatan fid din wa dunya wal akhirah, wa afiyatan fil jasad, wa ziyadatan fil ilmi, wa barakatan fil rizqi, wa taubatan qabla al-maut, wa rahmatan 'inda al-maut, wa maghfiratan ba'da al-maut. Allahumma hawwin 'alaina fi sakaratil maut, wa najatan minan nar wal 'afwa 'inda al-hisab. Allahumma yassir umurana, Allahumma yassir umurana umratini wa dunya wal akhirah. Ya Allah, Tuhan yang Maha Pengampun, ampunilah dosa-dosa kami, ya Allah. Ampuni dosa kedua orang tua kami, ampuni dosa para pemimpin kami, ampuni dosa-dosa orang-orang yang berjasa dalam hidup kami, ya Allah. Rabbana taqabbal minna du'aana innaka antas samiul alim wa tub 'alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina 'adzaban nar. Bi fadlika subhana rabbika rabbil 'izzati 'amma yasifun wa salamun 'alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to start off, we would like to welcome each and every one of you with a welcoming dance named Cendrawasih. This particular dance tells a story about the romance between male and female Cendrawasih. Cendrawasih is a bird which is commonly found in the mountain range of Papua. Every single move done by the dancers describe how Cendrawasih interact to impress one another. And so with that, without further ado, please help me to welcome Liga Tari, Universitas Indonesia. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, can we give a big round of applause to Liga Tadi Universitas Indonesia, dance community from Universitas Indonesia. Very well, now ladies and gentlemen, now please allow me to invite Rector of Universitas Indonesia to give his welcoming remarks. And so with that, please join me in welcoming Professor Dr. Engineer Muhammad Anis, Master of Metallurgy.
Honorable Minister of Research, Technology and Higher Education, as represented by Senior Advisor to the Minister, Professor Paulina Hanen. Honorable Minister of Communication and Information Technology, as represented by Head of Human Resources, Mr. Basuki Yusuf Iskandar. Honorable Chairman of Board of Trustees Universitas Indonesia, Honorable Chairperson of Professor Council of Universitas Indonesia, Honorable Chairman of Academic Senate Universitas Indonesia, Honorable Ambassadors, Professors, Executive Leaders, distinguished speakers, participants, particularly our colleagues, deans, director of schools, and director of vocational education program, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to all of us. I would like to warmly welcome you to Universitas Indonesia Campus Depok. It is an honor for me, as Director of Universitas Indonesia, to having you all in this Scholar Summit 2017. I greatly appreciate for speakers who are coming a long way to Indonesia to attend this event. I also would like to extend my compliments to all academic colleagues, administrative authorities, and all the participants in this event. We are gathering here today to reunite our spirits of efforts in answering the challenge of international movement that is Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs. Various aspects have been visited by SDGs, not only those dealing with human rights, but also those dealing with the basic needs of humanity. It is undeniable that the 17 goals stated in SDGs can only be achieved by partnerships. Countries are expected to work side by side in forming the better society and the better world. That is the main objective of this event, to make every one of us believe that nothing could not be formed as long as we stand together and hand in hand to realize the SDGs for the prosperity of the world. The strategic theme shaping the better world is very clear in sending the message that we as the academicians are bound to build up our own partnership in achieving the SDGs, including equipping the society by training young generation as our future agents in building the much better society living in much better world. We are having more than 200 speakers from around the world attending this event. Participants of this event will have an opportunity to meet with scholars who have relevant expertise and experience in answering the world challenges as represented by the SDGs with all of us. However, I believe that the most valuable benefit of attending this event is meeting new people. This event is a good avenue for you to build your personal network, exchange ideas, and to think beyond your boundaries. In closing, I hope you will find these events fruitful for your personal and professional development, and especially to our guests from abroad. Have a very pleasant stay. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite Senior Advisor, the Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education to give her opening remarks. And so with that, please help me to welcome Professor Paulina Panen.
Excellencies, Mr. Ambassadors from various neighboring countries, respected rectors of Universitas Indonesia, chairman of UI Supervisory Board, researchers and delegates from various countries, delegates from partner industries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all of us. First of all, allow me to convey the apology from Minister Nasir for he could not be here due to prior assignment. Ladies and gentlemen, let us thank Allah Almighty for His blessing that we can convene here for the very important meeting, the Scholar Summit, with a theme of shaping the better future, hosted by Universitas Indonesia. Please accept my highest appreciation to Universitas Indonesia for such an excellent initiative, which indicates strong research culture embedded in UI academic life. Ladies and gentlemen, growing to be the most populous, most influential ASEAN member countries, and also the largest Islamic country, Indonesia has become one of the largest players in ASEAN. Yet, Indonesia is to make a timely transition from efficiency-driven country in which economics has been based on the efficiency of production and then the use of natural resources to innovation-driven based country. This transition highly depends on social engineering by higher education institutions in Indonesia that can produce educated workers and innovations, and also our efforts together to further strengthen the role of science, technology, and innovation as a predominant pushing factors of national competitiveness. Higher education in Indonesia has been expanding rapidly. Currently, we have 4,551 institutions, more than 24,000 study programs, and about 31% gross enrollment rate. Big number means big challenge. Our labor force is around 120 million. 11% only are coming with higher education qualification. In order for Indonesia to achieve its dream to be in the top 8 countries in the world economically, Indonesia needs to multiply the percentage with 5 times or even 7 times. That's a big job. The World Bank has calculated that only with educated labor force and innovation, Indonesia will excel in 2050. Our challenge is how to unleash the potential of our growing higher education institutions as one of the key players that can answer to the local, regional, as well as global challenges, and to contribute to the national economic growth. In this era, higher education has a new defining role as agent of cultural, knowledge, and technology transfer, as well as the agent of economic development, contributing intensively to Indonesia's current national priority, that is, agriculture and food security, energy and renewable energy, medicine and health sciences, transportation, defense technology, advanced materials, maritime, and information technology. According to the Global Competitiveness Index of 2016 by World Economic Forum, Indonesia's global competitiveness rank is currently 41 out of the 144 countries. Innovation rank is 31, an increase from rank 38 in 2015. And higher education index is rank 63 in 2016, a slight decrease from last year's rank of 61. Meanwhile, the registered patent is ranked 106 out of 144. And production in Indonesia employs more than 70% patents from other countries. However, the good news is that up to the early October 2017, international publication of Indonesia has reached 12,098, ranked 3 in Asia after Malaysia and Singapore, and we beat 1 rank from Thailand. Indonesia has 931 journals indexed by a reputable international bibliographic database. Those publications are coming from about 5,800 professors in Indonesia, including from Universitas Indonesia. So far, Indonesia has made effort to improve its higher education and the degree of innovativeness. But still, Indonesia needs a more robust strategy of growth to increase the nation's competitiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, it is only with quality education and innovation that higher education institutions such as UI will be able to achieve excellence in terms of knowledge and innovation being produced, in terms of value of this knowledge and innovation, and its relation to the wider economy and society, which enable UI to significantly contribute to position Indonesia well in the emerging ASEAN century. Universitas Indonesia thus far has been able to function as knowledge creation institution, resulted in educated workers. We know that UI's alumni are respected and well taken by job market. And science and technology and innovations are flourishing in UI, which plays a significant role in increasing the nation competitiveness. UI has produced quite a number of innovation in collaboration with other scholars and also industries. As such, UI has received the rank 277 by QS World University Ranking, the highest among Indonesian higher education institutions. In the future, I believe Pak Rector would not be happy with this. UI will be expectedly to be able to climb to the best 50 universities in the world. Therefore, UI needs to further strengthen its effort to be the change agent to the academic community through building research culture and innovative skills among its scholarly community, increase the number of index international publication, increase research collaboration with partners from various countries and various disciplines, and work closely with industries. This event, with more than 150 scholars coming from various countries and areas of interest, is an excellent place to establish stronger collaboration in research, publication, and knowledge creation. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all now know that we are experiencing the fourth industrial revolution, which is based on cyber-physical system. With this revolution comes the changing demography. We know now we have traditional generation, perhaps my mother and father, baby boomer, that's me, and Gen X, our children, and Gen Y, our grandchildren, and Gen X, perhaps our grandchildren, with different characters, attitudes, skills, and expectation. And along with that also comes the technology disruption. We live in an exponential era where all things happen at exponential speeds. We are witnessing the changing of G4 to G5. Soon we may have autopilot airplane. Then our life now is also revolving around internet-based services, Internet of Things. We reserve a hotel, airplane, taxi, even food, even do some shopping via online. We have to deal with big data. We research the potential of 3D printers for human body. And then the emerging of Uber-Gojek syndrome in the digital economy, and the elimination of various jobs that we once knew. With this revolution, higher education plays a key role for educating, reskilling, and upskilling the people. Also, scholarly community needs to devise new areas of research, new sets of competencies, skills, and knowledge to include cross-disciplinary approach, entrepreneurship, and creativity to start innovation process and produce new technology. As the World Bank states that only countries that have more science and engineering graduates that engage in more higher education research will have better innovation outcomes, or I call it survive in this global era. Within this framework, we want to be able to witness how Universitas Indonesia is making transformation and transforming Indonesia through its innovation. This Scholar Summit, initiated by Universitas Indonesia in collaboration with various parties, including various higher education institutions and scholars from other countries, alumni network, and government, is very worthy and highly appreciated. It is valuable means to collaborate and sharing, from which distinguished participant can share its research interests and technology development, exchanges strategy to achieve quality, innovativeness, and excellence, with the final goal to collaboratively assist Indonesia in achieving our national goal, as well as to answer to the global development goals and challenges. Thank you for all for coming and participating in this Scholar Summit. I wish you all a fruitful deliberation. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, ma'am, for a valuable speech, but please remain on stage as we are moments away to our next agenda, which is Gong Striking by Professor Paulina Panen, accompanied by Rector of Universitas Indonesia and Chairman of Board of Trustees of Universitas Indonesia. And so with that, we'd like to invite Professor Anis, Professor Sudiarto, and Mr. Eri Riana to kindly join us on stage. Very well, thank you, Professor. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to invite Head of Research and Development Agency of Ministry of Communication and Information Technology to give his welcoming remarks. And so with that, please join me in welcoming Mr. Basuki Yusuf Iskandar, MA.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang saya hormati Bapak Rektor Universitas Indonesia, yang saya hormati para Bapak dan Ibu Wali Amanat Universitas Indonesia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pertama-tama kami mengucapkan permohonan maaf Bapak Menteri. Sampai kemarin sore beliau berniat hadir in person dalam momen ini, event ini, tapi mendadak tadi malam beliau menugaskan saya untuk hadir di forum ini dan menyampaikan beberapa pesan. Ladies and gentlemen, Pak Rektor, I think first I would like to deliver the apology from the Minister Triandara because he cannot attend the meeting in person because the urgency matter. Yes, and unfortunately the minister not specifically asked me to say something in this meeting. But that something wrong with my speech, I think is my responsibility, not the minister's responsibility. Because there is no message, no speech that I have to read in this meeting. But as the representative of the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, I have to say something little bit about the ICT. When we talking about sustainable development goal, currently, now in future, I think we cannot ignore the need of the information. So I can say that information is the basic need of the society, of the people, of the civilization. So the role of communication and information technology is very significantly. Another thing, we can see that ICT has so many impact. I can say that unprecedented impact due to the technology of ICT that we cannot see before. So in this case, I think when talking about the civilization, sustainable development, we cannot ignore talking about the ICT, the equality of the society in enjoying and getting service of ICT. ICT has many impact, as I told before, that we can have to be very careful talking about this fact. Because when we're talking about the impact of ICT, there are two things we have to consider. First, about the positive impact of ICT, and the second thing is negative impact of ICT. On the developing countries, as like Indonesia, I think we have to consider very carefully about the negative impact of ICT. Because when we're talking social readiness of our society in preparing the impact of ICT is not very prepared well. Different from the producing of ICT countries. We can see that they are producing the technology and also the society is more ready than developing country. So in this case, we have to take a note very seriously about the social readiness of our society in facing the changing very fast, radical changing because of the ICT development and technology of development of ICT that very fast and very radical change in the future. That's like Ibu Bauli mentioned about the impact of ICT, broadening the opportunity of our society. New product, new service, and even new landscape of business is offered by the development of ICT. But in other words, I think we have to against. Sometimes we are just blinded by the benefit of the ICT, but not enough careful or not enough considering the negative impact of ICT in our society. I think this time, because you know that as Supeteran say that there is always creative distraction and innovative. We have to develop of ICT technology as possible and as fast as possible. But in the thing, we have to take care the society that really lag behind or become a victim of the innovation of technology. So we can be balance between the creative and distraction. Otherwise, we will trap in just distraction without any creativity. So in this case, I think the University of Indonesia can take a leading role in developing the human resource in our society. So we do hope, and Kominfo I think is nurturing the collaboration between University of Indonesia and Kominfo to developing something in human resource development, including the give some scholarship and another area, and also in some part is research. And we talking against. Secondly, when we talking about the ICT, it's naturally global business. It's naturally global business. So we cannot separate our society in just in spirit society. We cannot become close society. Global collaboration is very important in this case. So I think I can welcome very much about the University of Indonesia that open the opportunity to have global collaboration with other universities from international, but also from other institutions to work together in developing, becoming the best university in the world. I think not the best universities yet, but 50 ranked in the world. Yes. Next year or this year. I do hope that the dream will become true. I think with the spirit of global collaboration also, I think the ambition and the goal is not very difficult to achieve, especially for University of Indonesia. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech. Very well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to invite Director General for Science, Technology, Resources and Higher Education and Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education to give his keynote speech. And so with that, join me in welcoming Professor Dr. Ali Gufran Mufti, MSc, PhD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning, Honorable Rector of Universitas Indonesia, and also the Chairman and the member of MBA, and the speakers, also respective Ibu Paulina, the Special Advisor for the Minister of Research, Technology and Higher Education, and all the representatives from the ministries, the dean, professors, scholars, and all ladies and gentlemen. I think when we are talking about how on shaping the better world, actually in the year 2015, the globe already presented a historic and unprecedented opportunity to bring the countries and citizens of the world together to decide and also embark on a new path to improve the life of the people in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the commitment of the countries. They already to develop what they call it Sustainable Development Goals. And that time, there were 3 persons in the globe who were decided and also designed to draft the Sustainable Development Goals, namely the President of the Republic of Indonesia and the Republic of the Prime Minister of the UK and one lady from Africa. The 3 persons and other prominent persons already drafted Sustainable Development Goals. We already know there are at least 17 goals that in the globe, to be better life of the people in the globe, they have to achieve these commitments. And one of the commitments, of course, eradication of the poor people in the world, and also to increase achievement of what they call it previously development goals also, which is only 8, and mostly of the 8 goals are related to health. And in this year, I think also in the Sustainable Development Goal, unfinished agenda, also already commitment, how to achieve that. And one of them are how to reduce maternal mortality and child mortality and to increase access of healthcare. And they achieve and agreed to develop what they call universal health coverage. And universal health coverage and to achieve Sustainable Development Goals, very important how we as scholars together to advocate to all stakeholders having commitment how to have better life and to shape better world in the future. So therefore, in the Ministry of Research Higher Education, also have what we call it strategic planning of Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education. Namely, now the university not enough as an agent of education, also as the agent of research, but they have to act as the agent of cultural development. How to shape the people, also students, having better character to help each other. And also, the university has act as agent of economic development to eradicate poverty. So therefore, we have our own new indicators of main performance. For example, when just now the speaker already mentioned that University of Indonesia have to achieve, as the ranking 50 in the future. So that should be achieved indicators. First, the innovation, employment, industry, also how many rupiah will be generated by UI, especially not come from the students. And industry, community, publication, patent citation, university ranking, and graduate employability waiting time. Next slide. So, therefore, it is very important we all the multidisciplinary approach and to bring together, we develop what we call it academic health system, where all the multidisciplinary approach, they can work together, can study together. So in University of Indonesia, for example, now we build, we call it academic health system with the new teaching hospitals. This hospital is very, luxury hospital with also eMary, but the problem is how to manage and how to funding of these new, teaching hospitals. By using this concept of academic health system, all different type of disciplines, they can work together to make better life, better health, and then to achieve SGD. Next slide. So this is the academic health system, university, teaching hospital, collaborative practice, and all stakeholders working together changes the students, changes the way of thinking, and to achieve improve the health outcomes. Next slide. So if improve health outcomes, so therefore we would like to achieve SGD. And then it is very important for scholars to have to advocate to all stakeholders how actually the access of healthcare, literacy of health, and also to change the way of thinking and to have the partnership and to work together to achieve SDGs. So one of the important skills which should be mastered by scholars as advocacy. Advocacy is one of the important skills in my opinion to change the world, to shape the world to be better. Otherwise, how to bring, for example, EBC, academician, then business, a private organization, to put their money, and also government to work together, then to shape the world. So advocacy is very important. Advocacy can be many things, but it is usually referred to taking action. How to action together to achieve SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. And the most difficult is system advocacy, taking action to influence social, political, and economic as well as health system to bring about change for better life of the humankind who live in the globe. And an example how advocacy was done to reform health financing in Indonesia to achieve universal health coverage, so therefore everyone in Indonesia have access for better health, so therefore the Sustainable Development Goals, at least some of the goals can be achieved. Next slide. So when we are talking about changing the system, in Indonesia, for example, before reform to universal health coverage, many poor and near poor, they have difficulty to have access to healthcare. But now, so before, for example, there was a written article, the poor is forbidden to fall sick in Indonesia. Now, because of the new system, the poor, if they got sick, they are forbidden to pay, because everything is paid by BPJS. The problem now, BPJS are deficit. So, again, advocacy. How to change before reformation and after reformation, every citizen has access to healthcare, a much easier. Therefore, now in Indonesia, never in line, never queue to access of healthcare. Now, it's many queuing. Then health is not an important issue for the public. Now health is important issue, especially when presidential elections, also local government elections. Health issue is also very important in addition of the education. Doctors, specialist hospital set their own tariff. Now the tariff already set by BPJS. And no structured referral system, now having structured referral system. The problem for education, for example, like University of Indonesia having tertiary hospital, the problem is there any patient? Because the building is very high, 8 floors with very sophisticated equipment, but the problem is there any patient or not? Because the patient, they have to go to the primary healthcare first before going to teaching hospital belong to University of Indonesia. Then the problem is, if this hospital no patient, how the students, also lecturers, to have practice and increase their capacity for doing research. No structured reference, cost-effective healthcare system, it is very important. Next slide. Again, concept of advocacy, we already explained this, and then actually universal health coverage. Indonesia have very important roles in developing, we call it, United Nations resolution. United Resolution in the year 2012, number 67, mentioned that all citizens, all government in the globe have to achieve universal health coverage in order now to achieve global commitment, which is Sustainable Development Goals. Next slide. So, the Secretary General of WHO, sorry. So, Secretary General, can we have a film for 1 minute? Mentioning about the concept of universal health coverage. So, every citizen in the globe, for better life, they have to have access of healthcare. If they have access to healthcare, they can study, they can be smarter. Otherwise, if they are sick, it is very difficult to study. So health, universal health coverage.
Universal health coverage is the most powerful concept that public health has to offer, because this is the mechanism to implement the right to health, to implement equity. Now, universal health coverage is something that needs to be homegrown. What do I mean by that? It is up to the political leaders and the citizens of a country to decide on how to start and then how to progress. There is no one-size-fits-all model. Countries must take into account their historical development, their health system capacities, and also their ability in terms of the speed and the scope of coverage to move over time. WHO can do several things. Number one, we facilitate and convene countries to come together so that they can share best practices and experience. The second thing we can do is to provide tools for governments to do the proper analysis so that they can design their own system and their own model. The third thing we can do is to provide a framework for monitoring progress over time. It is important for political leaders, for the citizens of the country, as well as for civil society to understand and appreciate what has been achieved over time, or what are the gaps, so that actions can be taken to address those gaps and overall to improve the health of the people.
So those who are in universal health coverage, it is not only the most powerful single concept that public health has to offer, but also in Indonesia, I think it is according to the law, to the constitution. And I think using universal health coverage approach, it gives us, every citizen of Indonesia will have high quality, equity, and also access of healthcare. Universal health coverage, it is not only the most powerful single concept that public health has to offer, but also in Indonesia, it is according to the law, to the constitution. And I think... Udah. Yang nyetel nggak ngerti bahasa Inggris tadi. Ulanglah. Okay, I think, again, it is very important as the commitment when we are the scholars have responsibility to change, to shape the world to be better. So the Sustainable Development Goals, including eradication of the poor, also increasing the environment, and also better health, better access. But we have to have, again, the skill of advocacy to work together to change again the situation. And that is an example how Indonesia changed the healthcare system. So that is the milestones. We already, already through these steps. For example, in the year 2005, we have health insurance for the poor. So many people, sometimes that time, they want to be classified as the poor to have access to, health card and then access to healthcare. And we have the jumper out. This jumper out as the health insurance for the pregnant woman. So those who are pregnant, it is free, is health covered. So many women want to be pregnant again. Next slide. So I will not explain this, but the important, and when we are comparing the country, we should look at the three indicators: the membership, the breadth, who are insert or covered, and then the financing, how much actually finance and how much they have cost sharing. Next slide, and the benefit package, what are covered. So again, next slide. This is the when we cover, for example, when we are comparing in ASEAN countries, comparison of universal coverage in ASEAN countries, Malaysia, which is using tax-based system, 100% are covered. But the benefit package, actually not the whole benefit package, what happened for the financial protection? Only in the average, 40% are paid by the government. So in average, people still have to pay around 60%. And Philippines, for example, even, I'm sorry for those who are from the Philippines, they have to still, for the example, when we are comparing poor Indonesia and poor Philippines, also to be poor is not good, but comparing almost the same poor Indonesia still happier because they are, forbidden to pay actually. Everything is covered when they are included in, we call it, if they have BPJS cards. But in Philippines, around 50%, they still have to pay. So the financial protection is around 50%. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, this is the future system. I will not explain it because the time, I think, problems because we have limited time. Next slide. Okay, this is how in the future, 2019, every citizen in Indonesia is covered. Next slide. Yeah, next slide. So next slide will be finished if next slide. Critical success factor. That is how when we are working together to change, to shape the world to be better, there should be lesson learned. And what is the key success factor? Key success factor first is the leadership. Leadership is very important. How the leader in the country level or in the globe to, change, to make all the people and stakeholders to go to the same direction, which is to shape better world. So if some are shaping better world, the other want war, that is really problems. Establishing law and regulation, political commitment, again, is very important. Meaning they have to allocate enough budget, also laws, regulation, and also, go to the same direction. Creating and facilitating critical mass of experts, it is very important. As scholars, if we have the same direction to change and shaping better world, we should have critical mass who work together. Otherwise, there is no change. If only Pak Rector who are very, expert and commit, but only one person, nothing will happen. So this should be critical mass, enough person. Technical capacity in the system design, implementation, learning experience, running in different scheme of the past, then preparing, enhancing infrastructures. That is enabling factors that the changes should be happen. Education, again, advocacy, and awareness of the stakeholders. Next slide. Okay. Next slide. I hope we'll be finished. Next slide. Okay. Again, we have to fully understand the current system to change the next system. Next slide. So, for the scholars, actually, we can learn together to change and shaping better world. We should also doing research to study what is the factors influencing to shaping better world. When we are doing research and then we can publish. For the scholars in Indonesia, the problem is writing and publications. For example, this graph indicated that in ASEAN, for example, in the the year 2014 or the beginning 2015, you know, the top, no, not yet. Belum. Nah. The top number of publication indexed by Scopus is the red one, Malaysia. Number 2, Singapore. The question is why Malaysia above the Singapore? The answer is because Malaysia have more lecturers, more scientists compared to the Singapore. But when we are talking the number, actually Indonesia has more scholars, more lecturers, but our production of publication index by Scopus is 5,499. Therefore, the Ministry of Research and Higher Education issued new regulation, new ministerial decrees. They call it related to, to push the production of scholars. So what happened? Many scholars protested, including University of Indonesia. The chief of the Senate, have a signature to protest this policy. But the result is very good actually. Next slide. Now we are at the top in the ASEAN. Why at the top? Because those who are, okay, you can applause. Because those who have better, for example like Malaysia and Singapore, we already deleted. Jadi kita hapus, jadi kita jadi juara. But it is not only joke, it is serious actually. For example, like Vietnam, in the past also little bit above Indonesia. Now Indonesia already overtaken. Not only on the publication, but also football game. And Philippines, for example, I'm so sorry from Philippines, salamat po. Philippines, the second language is English. In Indonesia, second language is not clear. Depend on you are in Java or you are in Sumatra or in other islands. But Philippines, so now we over. Next slide. Not yet. Now, in September, this month is October, okay. In October, Indonesia already published around 10,500. In Thailand, 9,000 something. So, Indonesia already overtake because of the new policy. Because many scholars in Indonesia are little bit sleeping. So now we make it, they are wake up and write. So when they are, working together, shaping the work better, so we have to write how is the strategy and then publish it and share it together. I think that is the last slide. I don't know whose picture is this. The Margaret Chan, the lady, is from Hong Kong, the number 1 person in the globe when talking about health, and always, working very hard to change the globe, especially in the health aspect. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude again. To change, to shape better worlds, scholars have to have future vision and share vision and working together. But the important is how together having the skill, what we call it advocacy skill, to change the stakeholders, to bring together, and then what we are doing, we have to write down and to publish, to share in order to faster, to achieve and shaping better world. I think that is all, and thank you very much for your attention. Sekian, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sawadee-kap, salamat po, thank you, sir. Apalagi.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable keynote speech. But please remain on stage. Please remain on stage because we would like to present a token of appreciation to you and Professor Paulina, not to mention to Mr. Basuki Jusuf Iskandar. And so with that, we'd like to again invite Professor Muhammad Anis, Professor Paulina Panen, and Mr. Basuki Yusuf Iskandar to kindly join us on stage. The first token of appreciation for Professor Dr. Ali Gufran Mufti, to Professor Paulina Panning, and the second will be for Mr. Basuki Yusuf Iskandar. Last but not least, to Professor Dr. Ali Gufran Mufti. Very well, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to be taking the first group photo session. Very well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking the first group photo session, and so with that, we'd like to invite all the VIPs to kindly join us on stage. We'd like to invite a Rector of Universitas Indonesia, Professor Muhammad Anis, Chairman Board of Trustee, Chairman of Professorship Council, Chairperson of Academic, Senate, Vice Rector, Head of Research and Development Agency of Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. Please, sir, kindly join us on stage. We also would like to invite Director General of Science, Technology, Resources and Higher Education of Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education. We also would like to invite Professor Emil Salim to kindly join us on stage. Excellencies Ambassadors, An Kwang Il, Ambassadors of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea to Indonesia and ASEAN, Valiullah, Iranian Ambassador for Indonesia. Again, we also would like to invite Senior Advisor to Minister of Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education, Head of International Office, as well as the Chairperson of the Steering Committee Scholar Summit 2017. Again, we would like to invite Professor Emil Salim to kindly join us on stage. We also would like to invite all deans. Again, we would like to invite all deans, all directors, to kindly join us on stage. We're going to be taking the first group photo session with all the VIPs. And last but not least, we'd like to invite all the plenary speakers. Again, we'd like to invite all the plenary speakers. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite all the plenary speakers to kindly join us on stage. We're going to be taking first group picture of all the VIPs. Very well, ladies and gentlemen, our second photo session will be with all the VIPs alongside with all of the participants. And so with that, we would like to invite each and every one of you to kindly rise. To all the audience, please rise. And come forward, please, so that we can squish everyone all together. We're going to be taking one big group pictures with all of the VIPs and all of the participants. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please come forward and rise.